Do you admire yourself? You will never be friends with those type of people if you grasp the worth of self-love. The majority of the individuals out there are rushing about with nothing in their pockets. They are devoid of self-awareness and self-love. When I say self-love, I don't mean famous money, materialistic goods, or any of the other things that your negative mind can conjure up. Self-love has nothing to do with appearances, vehicles, or any of the other superficial things that one might think will make you love yourself even more. It's all about knowing what you are worth. It's just a question of you saying, I don't have to be around those people in this type of places and scenarios in order for me to finally understand the value in myself. I love myself regardless of whether or not you love me. I have faith in myself. I am aware of my own worth. I'm here and I'm here for a reason. Wisdom, knowledge, insight, spirituality, and love have no worth. Every single day I'm still working on myself. A person who can't forgive anything has been psychologically and emotionally damaged. Allow your parents to forgive you. Forgive yourself for whatever failed relationships you've ever had. Forgive everyone in your life who has ever hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Please pardon yourself. Giving up hope that the past may be different is what forgiveness entails. I make my own decisions. Many of you I know believe that forgiving entails accepting what has occurred to you. Admitting that it happened to you is different from accepting that it was okay for it to happen. It is acknowledging that something has occurred. So what am I going to do about it now? Forgiving entails giving up hope, not holding on to hope and wishing that things could have turned out differently than they did. It also entails giving up hope that the past could have turned out differently. And I believe that getting it pushed me to the next level of being a better person, because I no longer carry grudges against anyone or anything. You shouldn't either, since it's letting go, so that you are not bound by the past. You are not held captive by a prisoner. Life is cyclic. As you can see, everything you are going through right now, it isn't going anywhere. It has arrived, not to say, but to pass. It's just going through the motions. The most difficult task is to understand what is going on. This is an element of what we refer to as life. These too shall pass, and it is important to keep things in perspective. To have the future, you must be willing to let go of the past. You yearn for it so much. You must have the courage to honor the past as it was. To forgive those who need to be forgiven. To forgive yourself and to accept responsibility for all that has brought you to this point. Everything, allow it to go and begin focusing on my personal development. And believe me when I say you're going to have people do stuff to you. You're going to have to deal with a lot of things. The most essential thing is to harness your willpower and let it go, so you may grow and move forward with your life, it makes no difference what happens to you. It's all about what you're going to do about it. Mastar, what are your plans now? However, if you want to start moving towards your own particular greatness, if you want to start living a happy, successful, and healthy life, you must be willing to go against the grain. You must be willing to control your willpower. So, as you are recreating your life, jot down a description of the type of person you want to be. What are the challenges you must face? What distinguishes you as a person? You are well aware that you will have to modify because those particular features are disadvantages to you. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your advantages? Examining and assessing oneself in order to make that decision. Another factor is that we need some instruction in order to come out of erect. Make a list of people you want trust as critics. You are loved by those that care about you. Say certain things that prevent us from growing and evolving. First and foremost, we identify with comments. We take it very seriously. When someone wants to give us feedback on where we are failing and what our blind spots are, we want everything to be favorable in our favor. We aren't without flaws. It's excruciating. A reliable critic is a friend of mine. I despise him, but I adore him. He doesn't always tell me what I want to hear. He tells me what I need to hear in order for me to progress. It's excruciating. It is excruciating. I can't stand it when he puts me on the spot. But that is the only way I can improve. And I'm grateful that he cares about me enough to put our friendship on the line to tell me what I need to know. That's not what I was hoping to hear. High achievers aren't unsatisfied aspirers. They are not depressed. They are ecstatic. High achievers are generally happy than their counterparts. We all believe that getting to the top will be lonely at the top. And we all feel that the only way to get there is to grind and kill yourself. Yes. And this is entirely incorrect. And the evident proof is all over the world, which is basically overturning a lot of people's preconceptions about how you operate nowadays, in my opinion. Because you know, the grind or hustle on social media is so hot right now, especially today. By the way, none of the top 15% of high performers in the world recognize those words. They don't exist in the literal sense. We requested that they conduct a full keyword analysis, which they did. This was actually quite enjoyable. These are the 3 driving emotions according to outstanding performance. If we say there is a high performance state, we're talking about these 3 factors. First and foremost, complete involvement. The second, joy. And finally, number 3, confidence. That's what they're talking about. Okay? That is the source of the problem. There is a happy journey, not a miserable one. And I had this conversation in the book because I think that's a good way to frame things. Each of these chapters begins with a narrative of someone I worked with or a setting in which I displayed great performance. In this case, I'm stepping on the stage. Thousands of people gathered after a well-known artist appeared on stage and told the audience that person's secret to success. Hundreds of thousands of people never said was a secret to that person. Their entire spirit on their secret to success. Never give up. Nothing is sufficient. Never, ever, ever, never be happy with what you have. Constantly want more. And I'm like, oh, my second slide, which was supposed to be on jumbotrons in like 80 points written, was successfully completed. Oh, I'm going to have to dispel this for all these thousands of people. I'm thinking. I was completely terrified. But it wasn't just the numbers that I had to communicate to people. It was also this. If you are never pleased, is it true that life is precious? If this is true, your life is valuable and you could die tomorrow. Do you really want to think about it? I've never felt fulfilled in my life. I never allowed myself to take credit for anything. I never gave myself a chance to be at ease. I never allowed myself to look at that and think, wow, you did a great job. That's not how you should conduct your life. Just on a spiritual level, I believe it is a negative movement. This book doesn't go into great detail about any of that. It's more about the science and the emotional side of things. However, I believe it is critical that people understand that your duty is to seek for satisfaction. And if you aim for satisfaction more frequently, you will be a high performer. You never give yourself credit if you never give yourself credit. You are continually thinking that something isn't quite right. So what is going to happen? Dissatisfied drivers are more likely to burn out and quit than content drivers. So enjoy the moment and be present in what you are doing. Allow credit, contentment, and joy to enter. You can always improve, but only if you do so gladly. And you are learning if you are improving joyfully, joyously. You are intrigued and you are engrossed. The happiness is present. You will gain confidence because you will think to yourself, I'm going to learn from this regardless. This could be beneficial because, as you may be aware, this topic is currently trending on social media. You know, grind it out, work it out, whatever it takes. And I'm like, well, it's just popular. And I can see why that is the case. And I can see why it's appealing. It simply isn't scientifically sound. Stop being afraid of yourself. How frequently do you find yourself being terrorized by your own thoughts? You are in complete terror. And it's all because of your ideas. There isn't a single thing being done. It's sometimes a long-standing family tradition. We occasionally receive new items and like to have some company. Make a note of your worries when you have the opportunity, and then give yourself the chance to change each fear into a positive affirmation. Make each one into a positive experience, and keep in mind that you are in command at all times. You are in command at all times. As you can see, one idle thought doesn't make much of a difference. Drop of water are like thoughts. If you drop a drop of water, it doesn't signify much. But if you keep dropping, you will end up with a puddle on the floor, and then a little pond and a lake. Finally, there is an ocean, and we can either drown in the sea of negativity or float on the ocean of life with our own thoughts. And it's up to us to keep track of the thoughts we have. And what kind of puddles are you standing in? Or are you up to this point? Or are you up to this point and trying to paddle? Or what are you doing to yourself? We can change our experiences if we are willing to change our thoughts. And regardless of whether you have a large puddle of negative thoughts, you can move over here and generate a puddle of awareness. Happy thoughts. You have the ability to make modifications at any time. So you want to transform your fears and negative ideas into positive affirmations that work for you. When we believe we are unworthy, it implies we believe we must prove to ourselves that we have a claim to our place on the earth in life simply by being who we are. And it seems we go above and beyond to prove we are deserving of our spot. And some of the most prevalent things are that we overcommit, offer too much, and do too much. We make too many excuses, compensate too much, and stay in difficult, desperate, unpleasant, damaging situations far longer than is wise or constructive. What you expect from the world in reaction to who you are is not the same as what you value. Self-worth refers to how you regard yourself and what you expect as a result. Now, if you don't hold yourself as worthy within yourself in order to go to the world, then what you expect from the world will be disappointed. Down on this piece of paper, every worry, every to-do, everything that is bugging you, everything that is on your mind. Some people in particular are under a tremendous amount of stress, and a lot of the time the pressure is merely a matter of perspective and imbalance. And the enforcement of order is what discipline is all about. And especially for people who are despairing and nihilistic, the order is vital. What will occupy a significant portion of your time, and doing what you believe is right is the only way to be truly satisfied. Excellent work. The majority of individuals do it to stay alive. We have to feed our families. As you know, we have to stay alive. It's what we do for a living. Okay, it's something we have to do. But you know, waking up with my feet and fingers tingling and thinking, wow, I have this to do. That is something I have to do today. And it's an incredible sensation. And it's not something I take for granted. You will find it difficult to consider all of your opinions or other options. And you will be frustrated, emotionally very attached. So many of us are aware that I can get over there. But man, this is so much better. Because I have to make this voyage, That isn't enjoyable. This ranges from 20% to 100%, and everything in between isn't fun. Your alley is discomfort. It's like being uncomfortable and dissatisfied with some events or feelings in life. Huge, massive motivators exist. They are also fantastic at facilitating change. Everything else is merely incidental. We are the ones who say, stay hungry, stay drunk. It was a farewell message from them. Stay hungry, stay naive, they said as they sign off. In addition, I constantly desire that is something I'm familiar with. It's terrifying. I always say that, especially in business, because it's a scary environment to be in. It shifts, it goes ups and downs, and there are a lot of ups and downs in order to be successful. You must be able to back out of a contract. You have to, because if you want something badly enough, people will give it to you at patterns. If you think it's awful when it's bad, you're losing your pessimistic DNA. And if you think it's amazing and incredible, you have winning DNA and an A, which I believe is true. So that's where we are now. That is why people must comprehend what is within us. We won't know until we start. I'm making an effort. Is it as pleasurable as it should be? And we all know there is a range of enjoyment. After all, we've all had times in our lives when things weren't so wonderful. And then there are those times in life when everything comes together. Like, what a fantastic day. Wow, like, make it happen. More of those are needed. And then there is the discipline. You don't hear much about how the things people do when no one else is looking and when they win. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more motivational videos. Peace out.